If you go back to 2017, you had this monstrous drop from about
Mhm.
20,000 all the way down to 5,800, 6,000, right? And then what did it do? It went from
Yep.
50,
To like
basically, let's say
12 grand or
6,000.
something.
It went all the way back up to 11, almost 12,000. So it basically went
Yeah.
the equivalent of going from 17.5 to 35,000.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Crypto. The global market cap is above $1 trillion and Bitcoin is already pushing hard for the key resistance levels that experts have indicated. You can check that out in our previous videos. Are we going super bullish from here or should we expect another bear turn? How long will this bull run last? What are the predictions for the rest of the year? Keep watching to find out as we answer these questions with Chief Marketing Strategist of InTheMoneyStocks.com, Gareth Soloway. As we mentioned, Bitcoin is climbing steadily. Ethereum is looking very good at over a 30% increase from last week, as are many of the other altcoins. BNB, for example, is also up over 10% from last week. Is there something we should notice that will keep us super bullish or take us bearish again? Here are some key statistics. Only 6% of the big cap coins are above their 60-day moving average. You might be wondering, why look at the 60-day moving average? This average is important because analysis did the math and determined that this is what is most relevant in this analysis. So even with all the upside, most of this market has not moved above its average price for the last 3 months or so. In that case, where are we headed from here? Well equipped with his decades of experience, Soloway weighs in on this.
In history, you actually see that type of thing happen. Like with Bitcoin here, if you go back to 2017, you had this monstrous drop from about
Mhm.
20,000 all the way down to 5,800, 6,000, right? And then what did it do? It went from
Yep.
50,
To like
basically, let's say
12 grand or
6,000.
something.
It went all the way back up to 11, almost 12,000. So it basically went
Yeah.
the equivalent of going from 17.5 to 35,000,
Yep.
doubling. Then what happened was you went sideways. Bear with me here. You really just ended up going sideways for a ton of time. And this is kind of almost where I think we are right now. We're getting this big bounce where, again, we could see that 30, 32,000, maybe even more. And then you saw this long sideways chop before that final flush out. And that's
Mm.
kind of, weirdly enough, I wouldn't be surprised. And I know you guys can't see down there. Let me zoom it out. But this final flush was the final bottom on Bitcoin. So again, who knows if it replays that way? But I think it's important for us as traders and for individual investors to just be aware. You can get a 50, 100% rally in Bitcoin and still be in a bear market.
So what happens if everything starts breaking out at once? If Bitcoin moves like Ethereum is doing right now? Is it too optimistic to expect it to breach $32,000? Ethereum has moved quite positively in the past week. The same could turn around and happen to Bitcoin. So it does not seem like the market is currently overbought. Bitcoin is the flagship cryptocurrency, the anchor of the cryptoverse, so it only makes sense that we place a great deal of attention on its price movement. But are there any altcoins besides Ethereum that we should be looking at right now? Soloway answers.
If there's money to be made, let's keep an eye on it. So what I like about this is you had this kind of breakout pattern right here. You broke above, you confirmed. And so what I would say is I'm not in this currently, but I'm looking to maybe buy a retrace to what I would call the scene of the crime, which is right around 37 bucks or so. And if you
Okay.
do that and it starts to trend up, and let's say we do see Bitcoin and ETH and all these others go up, I mean, you got some decent upside on this, probably minimally to about $58, $59. And from, again, 37 entry, you're talking about a
Yeah.
pretty hefty percentage move. And in the scheme of this, I mean, look at how little of a bounce that is. I mean, you could even talk about maybe the moonshot getting all the way back to 79.80, but I would say 37 looks interesting on a retrace if you retrace that breakout candle right there.
Polkadot is the number 11 ranked market cap coin. Looking at Polkadot, the resistance drawn by an AI placed no resistance until 10. Above that, it is 15. With Final Fantasy NFTs coming to Polkadot, it is like value investing in a sense, something like dumpster diving a year ago before the major collapse involving companies like Three Arrows Capital that struck fear in a lot of people. But the reality of investing is that one of the best returns you will ever get will be putting the most risk out there. Take SHIB, for example. It was a very risky play to invest in a coin that had no real utility, just relying on people to pump, but it made a number of investors millionaires. At this point, it is only fair to ask, What is Gareth Soloway's position on Bitcoin for the short, mid, and long term?
I will say that I'm midterm bearish, so I'm near-term bullish. I'm
Okay.
long Bitcoin, long Ethereum, but I do have a midterm like turnaround point at some point in the future. So I don't know if that counts.
So, what are Soloway's predictions on the crypto market as a whole for the rest of the year?
A lot of cryptocurrency investors, they kind of live in the like the bubble boy and inside this bubble of just crypto. But you got to be watching like the dollar. The dollar is so important for crypto. And if you look at this, right, let's bring up the DXY. The DXY was on a crazy up move. And then notice how the dollar pulled back. DXY is the dollar. And this pullback coinciding with this charge on ETH as well as Bitcoin and all these cryptos, right? So keep an eye on that. And one of the things that makes me bullish on not just crypto, but also commodities and so forth near term is if you look at the bigger chart, right? The dollar just slammed into some serious resistance here. So at least in the near term, that's kind of the bull case. And I agree. I think later in the year there's going to be trouble, and it's not that a lot of people would say, oh, if the Fed kind of backs off their rate hikes, that's bullish for risk assets, but it's only bullish if they haven't crushed us into a recession. And you also have to so the recession side, then you take a look at something like the Nasdaq, right? We know how basically the Nasdaq, the S&P is so correlated with crypto. And look, this same kind of low, higher, low, higher, low charge, that's the Nasdaq chart, which is almost exactly what the Bitcoin chart is. So the idea is if all of a sudden we slip into a rough recession and the Fed can't print money because inflation is still at 5 or 6%, well, then you have a stock market that's headed 20, 30% lower. And that's where I get my kind of bear midterm case from.
You may be wondering, how does the stock market or even politics affect the crypto market? One important thing to understand is that all of these things that are happening in our environment are interconnected in many ways, crypto included. In our previous videos, we have discussed the correlation between crypto and the Nasdaq, and even the US dollar at large. It's also possible that they might decouple in the future, and then the stock market and crypto will be two different playing fields, and it might just be a whole different ballgame entirely. As it stands, the Nasdaq, S&P, and even oil matter in relation to the crypto market. In that case, acquiring knowledge about these commodities will also expand our ability to make better decisions in the crypto market since they are correlated. Thanks for watching this video. What do you think about this predicted resistance? Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to smash that like button, share our video with your friends and family, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing content. See you on the next one. Bye for now.